Wowzers. Look at this for a fantastic start to today's show. Live at the waterhole, and we are indeed live at this waterhole. Look at all these elephants. What a fabulous start. Welcome to the show, everyone. And what an awesome way to start the show. My name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. It is 29th of April, 12:30 South African time, and we are live and interactive with you here at Rosie's Pan to start us off. We love hearing from everyone, so please send your questions through to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code on your screens. There are a few ways you can interact with us this afternoon. You can also join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth, or again scan the QR code on your screens. Wow, this is such a cool sighting to start with. Or you can send your questions and comments through via WhatsApp on +27 786 302 336. I wonder how long these elephants are going to hang around for. Often they have a big splash and a play and a drink, and then someone says, okay, time's up, and oh, is this a boy making a nuisance of himself? And then everyone disperses fairly rapidly, is what often happens. But you are all very welcome to the show today. Thank you for joining us. We will be spending a couple of hours. Oh, look at that little one in there. We will be spending a couple of hours seeing what our oh, that elephant's proper swimming in there. Look at that. One of my most memorable elephant sightings ever was actually a teeny tiny little elephant on the other side of a river, and Mum could not get this baby out of the river. It was splashing and playing, and every time she dragged it out, it would scoot under her belly and then run back into the water again, just trying to, same as getting kids out the swimming pool, I guess. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We've already got lots of you checking in, which is fantastic. Catherine, hello everyone, and Kelly, hello Catherine. Penelope Kenyon, hi Penelope. Thanks for joining us with such regularity. You are appreciated. Hello Kelly, Zoomies all at Wild Earth, and chatters from a beautiful sunny Salt Rock in KZN. Thank you for joining us, Penelope. Gina, oh wow, what a lovely start. Right? This bodes well for the next couple of hours, and even if this is the most elephants we see in a pile, then what a joy. Calvin, you're asking what are the primary differences between African and Asian elephants in terms of physical characteristics. Calvin, size, African elephants are bigger. Trunks, you see on this female close to her, she's got a sort of, I don't know what they're called, like a grabby tip, top and bottom. Asian elephants don't have two, they just have one. Ears, Asian elephants have smaller ears. And I think only male Asian elephants have tusks. They're what I would say the primary differences of physical characteristics are, Calvin. Catherine, Ellie's just what you need today. They're always good for themselves. They are indeed. Look, they're done now. Someone said, enough, let's go. Penelope Kenyon is agreeing. Rosie's Pan, wonderful elephants. You see, and then they just disappear. Hendrik Lick, hello Kelly, Wild Earth team and family from Bloemfontein in South Africa. Hello Hendrik, thank you for joining us. Joanne Mello, good Tuesday Wild Earth and Kelly, good Tuesday indeed. Joanne Mello. Peter Thompson, good morning. Good morning to you too, Peter Thompson. Hi everyone, what a glorious start to the day. Indeed, a glorious start to the day with a rather large number of elephants at Rosie's pan that are now starting to melt away into the thicket. Deb Davis. Hi Deb Davis. Thank you for checking in. Mercedes, thank you for being here. Greetings Wild Earth crew and chatters. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Back at you, Mercedes Bean. Must be hot there. A good swim looks lovely. It does indeed. But yeah, and then they were gone. Wildlife Lady. Good afternoon, Kelly. Good afternoon, Wildlife Lady. Wonderful scenes at Rose's Pan with all those elephants indeed. Sandy Franklin 69. Hello, Sandy Franklin 69. Good morning, Kelly. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad to be back. Sandy Franklin 69. Thank you for joining. And Andrew saying, no, please stay. Time's up, Andrew. They have obviously very important activities to partake in. I do find it fascinating the way they communicate. So, females will give a rumble or a grumble, but often I've been in situations, and I haven't, we don't hear everything they communicate, but it can be such subtle nuances, it can be body language, and it's just a very subtle time's up how everyone is so in tune with everyone else in this family group. But now I had a it was a fantastic sighting actually on the Savi River many years ago now, and it was far. It was across. We were on one of the river roads, and there was a breeding herd of elephants on the opposite side of the bank. So a good 150 meters away, and we were watching them, and we just sat quietly watching them, and they did exactly this. They had a drink, someone rumbled, they all started leaving, and there was a tiny, it couldn't have been more than 6 months old, and there was no more elephants in sight, and this baby was still splashing. All right. And then it must have been Mum came back, and she hooked it with her trunk. She stood there for about 30 seconds as if to go, out now. And this baby didn't come, and she hooked it with her trunk and sort of scooped it out the water, and it shot up and around and ran around her and went back between her legs and got back in the water. And she stood for about a minute, waited, hooked it out with her trunk, and then it ran around her again. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. I don't have children, but I can imagine many mothers out there would have experienced similar scenarios trying to get kids out of swimming pools. It was fascinating to watch, and the way she'd just stand for like a minute as if to go, I'm counting to 10 and then you need to come out.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions,
Animals rely on their senses.
share your thoughts, and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Maybe 30 meters. Normally if you're in a vehicle or even on foot, if you get any closer than 30 meters, they scoot back into the water. Obviously these terrapins from the reptile family, cold-blooded, and the only way they can really regulate their body temperature is to either sun to warm themselves up, or if they get too warm then they need to scoot back into the water. So used to be in the Chelonian family, these terrapins, now Testudines, has been renamed due to various advances in science, as is so often the case. So you find terrapins all over the world. They're grouped into about 14 families. Often grouped into 2 suborders, which are, it's actually split by terrapins that can bring their head straight back, or they bend their neck to get their head back into their shell there. So interestingly, all of the members in this order, this Testudines, don't have teeth. Despite the fact that many of these terrapins are predatory, they don't have teeth. They've got very sharp ridges that cover their jaws. They're used to snap and grab. Full body contact on the nice cool mud there. He's even got a couple of ants on him. I'm just having a double check to see if different species of terrapins are found up here in Kenya. I'm always a bit loath to try and get firm identifications on lots of these things we see on the cameras. The 2 main types of terrapin we get in southern or South Africa. are certainly the marsh and the serrated hinged. Just having a look to see if any of the soft-shelled terrapins might be. I mean, this isn't one. This is one of the marsh or serrated hinged. I'm just having a look in this reference book actually. These soft-shelled terrapins are interesting looking characters. Huh. Beautiful emerald spotted wood dove in the background there. Lovely opportunity to see those lovely emerald spots. I'm still waiting to find a blue spotted wood dove. But you see that gorgeous iridescence on those feathers there of that dove. What's that? Oh, I thought that was a snake then. It's another terrapin. That dove wants to come and drink. So these terrapins aren't massive, but it wouldn't. Not these terrapins, but they can get quite large, and they may take birds. Some of them. I don't think this dove's got too much to worry about. But as we were saying yesterday, lots of animals are very cautious at the water's edge. As are we. Or if we are not, then we most certainly should be. Trish is asking, what's that sack on its underside moving? That's the terrapin. That looks like it's breathing. So it's not like a shell of these animals. It is the animal. It's not a shell that's sort of plonked on top. You can sort of peel it off. It's all completely attached in a body cavity, and that's its breathing. Trish. Bianca, are terrapin shells as solid as tortoise shells? They're made out of the same stuff, apart from those very interesting looking soft-shelled terrapins that I just saw in that book. If anyone wants to have a look at soft-shelled terrapins, they're funny looking things. They're made out of the same stuff, Bianca. Like actual density and strength, I'm not entirely sure, but they're the same substance. But I couldn't tell you if you sort of tested them scientifically whether or not they would be as strong, but it's certainly the same thing. Viv, are terrapins only preyed on by southern ground hornbills? No, I think various things would eat terrapins if they could get into them. I know southern ground hornbills are known for getting into tortoises, but I would imagine anything that can get into them would eat them. I've watched a leopard hunt a tortoise before. He was actually a young leopard, and we followed him for ages. He was a cheeky little thing. He's still alive, and he's now a beast of a dominant male in the area I used to work in. But he was, I don't know, he was about a year old, 9 months, a year old, and we followed him for about an hour, and he found 3 tortoises, and he couldn't get into the first one, he couldn't get into the second one, and then he managed to get into the third one. So I think anything that could, and lots of it, like a hyena could crack that quite easily. Some of the bigger eagles might crack that, crocodile. Beans. Do terrapins eat dead skin off hippos? I have memories of hearing that before, Beans. I try not to confirm or deny anything until I've read or double checked proper science on it. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not going to confirm or deny. I've never seen a terrapin doing it. It doesn't mean they don't do it, but I'd like to find a nice little bit of science to back that before I said yes or no. But I do have faint memories of hearing that before, so possibly beans. And Penelope Kenyon, you're saying terrapin seems to have a regular breathing or heartbeat. It does look a bit irregular. See, I'm also looking at that moving sack now. I'm not entirely sure where all the internal organs would sit inside a terrapin. And my reptile book doesn't have an internal organ diagram, so I'm not, it doesn't feel like lungs would be all the way back there. I'm now trying to find a diagram of the internal organs of a terrapin. But you're right, Penelope Kenyon. It does look irregular. Let's look. But that's also got me wondering. See, the lungs and the heart are further forward, but that's got me wondering, because it almost looks like a bit of skin or something at the back.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have. We are here with a male leopard.
Hudson, you're asking why has this bird got its mouth open? I think it's hot. Birds will often open their mouth almost like panting, like a dog would pant if they're warm, to help with heat dissipation. So I think he's just trying to keep cool maybe. And maybe that's why he stood in the water. Will they fish? Let's see if they're known to eat fish. Often seen on sandbanks of rivers. I'm just trying to think. They don't strike me as a fishing bird to me, but they're ultimately they're a bird of prey. So I don't see why they wouldn't fish, but maybe it's cooling off. I don't see why I wouldn't take a little fish or something in there. So those naked legs will also help with heat dissipation. Julian Thomas says, stunning African harrier hawk. Nice. Very, very nice. I agree, Julian Thomas. Lovely to spend some time watching here. But yeah, maybe it's gone into the water to just have a little paddle. But he is looking in the water there. I'm just looking on this thing. There's no mention that they fish. I think he's gone for a cool down. Because look, his mouth's closed now. Maybe it has cooled him down. Maybe that coolish water on his legs has just dropped his temperature. I always think these birds are a funny shape. They look sort of, I don't know, disproportionate or something. Their head looks small in relation to their body. Oh. Ah, he's having a little bath. What a cool sighting. Deb Davis, yes. You're saying, wow, that is an impressive bird. It is indeed an impressive bird. Lady Macbeth, such beautiful raptors they are. But what a cool sighting this is. So maybe my pondering that maybe he was standing in the water to have a little paddle to cool down was correct. And now he's having a little bath. Look, Duncan is. I don't think I've ever seen an African harrier hawk have a bath. These cameras are amazing. The chances of being able to watch this, if it wasn't for these amazing cameras, are so slim because we always do our best to not disrupt wildlife. Well, I certainly do anyway. But ultimately, just our presence can. Ah, that's so cool. I've never. That is brilliant. I've never seen one of these birds bathe like that. A couple of the raptors. So these are very often quite easy to identify by these very bright colours on their faces, which can sometimes go pink. So if you ever see a bird with a pink face, could also be one of these. But it's the body shape for me. This is a cool sighting though. That almost said, oh, it's come. That is the coolest thing I've seen for a while. And Kaz, you're asking, is it male or female? I don't know. It can sometimes be tricky to tell raptors apart. Often females are slightly larger than males, but without seeing it next to another bird, it's very difficult to tell for me anyway. Apparently males have slightly fewer black spots on tertials and wing coverts, but Kaz, I don't know. If anyone out there can tell us if this is male or a female and what you are basing that on, I would love to hear it. We haven't had a particularly clear side picture. But that's alright. Yeah, the longer I'm doing this, the less confident I am. Okay, there's a couple of black spots there, but I don't know how many is lots and how many is not many. The longer I do this, the less likely I am to want to confirm if males or females are or are not, unless we get nice, clear, obvious views of parts that identify that clearly. Julian Thomas, great cam for birds at Aldonia, especially early morning when the sandgrouse come. Oh, lovely. That is a very nice camera angle, and it would be cool to get those sandgrouse coming in to drink. I'm sure you can hear them beautifully. Noisy birds when they drink mornings and afternoons, those sandgrouse. Dark May Never, good afternoon. Back at you, and you're saying hello to Directs in FC, and it's great to be here. You are, as always, Dark Main Lover, most welcome. Mercedes being glad to finally know what this bird is. It is definitely an African harrier hawk, used to be known as a gymnogene. See, that one I will call a nice clear image like that. There's no mistaking that bird. Oh, and Penelope Kenyon, you're saying the bird book says they can catch fish from shallow waters. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. I couldn't find any mention of fishing. I don't know, eggnet reptiles, frogs. I don't see why they wouldn't catch things out of the water. They've got claws and they eat food, so. But look at that funny shape on that bird. Don't you think that's very distinctive? That head always looks disproportionate to me, with quite a flat, wide sort of body and tail. Kaz, what you're asking? What's its favourite food to eat? These birds are known for having modified. It's not right. Modified, specialised, modified. You modify cars. Specialised joints around its sort of feet, ankle, legs area that allows them to almost scoop into holes and grab nestlings. Or eggs from inside the hole, so they're quite partial to nestlings or chicks, but they'll also eat reptiles, frogs, eggs. Lots of these raptors, despite the fact that we often call them snake eagles, well, not even just raptors, many things have quite varied diets, and lots of books will say, oh no, they don't eat this, or they only eat this. If things need to eat, they eat. And whatever they can get hold of, nature will utilise. So while things might have a preferred diet, if sustenance is required, they will find it. And you tend to find the more diverse diets are, or the more adaptable animals are to surviving on different food types, the more successful and widespread they are. This is great, watching this bird have a bath. It's making me very happy. Julian Thomas, hello. I'm really glad you're here. You're our birder, I've noticed. Please hang around for when I struggle. Birds of East Africa guide. Wow, you've got one of those. I've just got a sub-Saharan Africa. Does not mention any way of telling males and females apart except on size. No, mine also said it's something to do with spots, possible maybe slightly more or less spots, but also marginal size difference. And again, I agree, you said you also need to see the pair together. I also do. It's tricky enough to get a perspective on these cameras of individuals without basing a male or female on size. That's why I'm giving up a bit, Julian.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
watching. It was birds or something. And I can't remember what they were doing, something. It was a long time ago. And I said, oh, you know, why are they doing that? And he said, because they're birds. I thought that's a fair answer. And he's still one of the most amazing guides I know. But yeah, I will never make things up. I will never tell lies. I might ramble extensively sometimes and share my workings with everyone that's listening. But if I don't know, I don't know. And that means I have homework to go away and do and find out. It's like someone, whoever just asked about the terrapins and hippo skin. There are some records apparently of terrapins potentially nibbling hippo skin. But do they eat it? Is it a food source? Do they pull it off the hippo? Do they? I don't know. I would need more information before I would yes or no that. What's he doing now? Looks like he's doing a little dance in there. He's definitely spent some time here though. Must be super relaxed. Just enjoying a bit of a bathe. Tinnis is also saying, according to your bird app, the sexes are also alike. Tinnis, we might have the same bird app. It's often the case in many raptors, and it's often on size. And even some of the brown eagles, you know, some of them do have defining features, but those people say, oh no, it's too big to be or whatever, or oh no, it's too small to be or whatever. When it's 100 metres away in a tree behind a branch, I can't work out how big that is. Kaz, is it bathing because it's hot or is just cleaning off? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like a... I don't know, Kaz. Your guess is probably as good as mine. I've never seen a bird of prey look less dignified. What a fantastic sighting. I'm not sure, probably a bit of both, Kaz. Local, it's enough, it's gone. That was absolutely awesome. And there he was gone. That's been my favourite sighting for a while, actually. Max, I really enjoyed that too. What an amazing thing to be able to be a part of. Totally undisturbed. Has he gone back there? Is that back in the branches there? I'm not sure. But what an absolute pleasure. Oh, what an absolute pleasure that was. But he's gone now. So let's head across to Tau and see who we have across at the fabulous Tau Game Lodge. Oh, as busy here as ever. Zebras, wildebeest. It's most unusual for that. What's that? Is that a... Is that a bird down there on the bottom right hand corner? It is, but I don't know what it is. I don't think I've hardly ever seen the Tower waterhole completely bereft of life. It does sometimes if it's windy there, I've noticed. Things will disperse a little bit. This is quite an open area, so the wind does whip across there sometimes if it is windy. But there's something preening itself down towards the bottom right of the screen there that I can see. I'd almost want to say like a thickney or something, but it's very difficult to work out what that is. So wildebeest, zebra, often found together. See, is that a bittern? Julian Thomas, what's that? Quick. That looks like a little bittern. I know we have seen bitterns here at Tower before. Let me just check. Julian Thomas, quick, get there before me. My bird support. But that's quite unusual for a bittern to be stood out in the open like that. They're normally quite skulky and sneaky and... No, it's not a little bittern. I've had lots of discussions about... Oh, what a lovely view of your wing there, whatever you are.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
Haina nchumo, haina maka. Emavo kwenye ya milu, haina maka. Lifasira mina ritapela. Zatsemba, utatsamana mina.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Seen some exceptional birds today, but especially nice to see this often shy type of a mostly water bird. Eats fish up to 10 centimetres long. Okay, I think I'm happy with that being a squawko heron. Michael, yes, mostly aquatic, normally found along water's edges. Look at him creeping along. Ian, you're asking how you spell squawko. S-Q-U-A-C-C-O. I would love you all to jump in here and confirm or deny with me. But that was very cool managing to work that out. I'm pretty sure that's a squawko heron now, but looked very bitten-like when it was stood in that quite characteristic bitten position. But yeah, squawko heron, and look at it go as well. Helga, it certainly is Bird Bath Day and you're enjoying the programme. I've got a nice good shout from FC as well, also agreeing with my squawko heron. Look at him out here in the open just eating his food. I know we have seen little bittens at this dam before, which causes great excitement. Had people coming to look for bittens from other lodges before at this dam, which is what initially made me think bitten. But good work, team. Good work. Vicky, you're asking, how do aquatic birds interact with other species in their ecosystems, including predators and competitors? That's a very wide-ranging question, Vicky. Do you want me to ramble for the next 40 minutes? I certainly can on that one. Brilliant question. It depends, Vicky. It depends on the aquatic bird's preferred habitat. It depends on what other aquatic birds or competitors or predators are a part of their ecosystem. They've obviously got the ability of flight, which keeps them safer from lots of non-flying predators. But then you do get the scenario of this heron is having an absolute buffet here. Let's count how many things he eats. He's smashing it. Another one, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've only just started counting. Vicky, it depends. Often you do find some aquatic birds like this can be quite secretive. Often aquatic birds will choose well vegetated areas so they can hide in vegetation along water lines or water edges. And sometimes you will also find, although that isn't true at all, I was going to say sometimes you find a bird of a particular type, you'll only find one species, you know, often you'll only find short, squat birds that enjoy water, one of species in that location, but that is a complete lie because we've seen black-headed and grey herons here, we see different types of duck. It's a very broad question, Vicky, but it will all depend on everything else, really. Everything has its place, and a place for everything. Wow, this water, look how low that is though. That water is a couple of centimetres all the way out there where this bird's hunting. Ah, it's a tiny baby zebra. It's gone. There's a very young zebra across to the left there. Beautiful vistas around. There's roads. If you look at these koppies, there's actually roads that run around the bottom of most of these sort of hillocks, most of these koppies. It can actually get quite, maybe just for me, it can get quite confusing on some of these roads because you're basically driving around the bottom of a koppie and then you get to the next one and then you drive around the bottom of another koppie. And at night time I have got myself deeply confused in them before. Look at that tiny zebra. Just on the right there. This zebra is fresh out the box, as we like to say. But look at this. This zebra is, I'm guessing, certainly no more than a couple of months old. But look how long its legs are. And you can see, while it's much smaller than mum, its legs are still quite long, and in another few weeks' time, this baby's legs are going to be almost the same length as mum. Wow, this is very young. Staying very close to mum. Okay, this might be a good opportunity. I was asked yesterday, do all animals have milk teeth? And I said, I'm not sure, because this little one is desperately trying to, is this little one feeding there? Suckling milk. And I didn't know the answer to all animals have milk teeth. I said probably not, but I didn't know. But I have since established that lots of mammals have milk teeth. Not all, but it's often a mammalian trait. Elephants do have milk tusks. They will. This zebra's so young. I can tell by how sort of it's just all it's squished. This is probably less than a month old. Very, very small still. And elephants have milk tusks. They come in, we don't see them, and then those tusks will drop out again between, normally before they're 12 months old, and then their real tusks or final tusks will start coming in when they're around about 2ish. So most mammals have milk teeth, so humans, horses, some primates have milk teeth. Some mammals do not have milk teeth, so sloths do some strange things that don't fit in with anything, really, don't they? Some rodents don't have milk teeth. Some whales don't have milk teeth. So, in answer to the question was, do all animals have milk teeth? And the answer is no. they do not, but lots of mammals do. So this little zebra will be equipped with a teeny tiny set of milk teeth. That's very cute. Covering one of her legs there, or is she just resting it? She's resting this. Oh no, she was just. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I went missing there briefly. There's a very busy male impala at the back there, but I'm just looking to see if this new mum is favouring one of her legs or is not favouring one of her legs, depending on how you look at it. It looks like she's a bit sore on this front leg that's closest to us. Oh golly. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. Shame, girlie. Yeah, she's very sore. But maybe she's just stood on something. Maybe there's just a stone or something in her foot there. Fingers crossed. What's that at the back in between those two wildebeest? Is that a small wildebeest? There's two wildebeest and then something brown moving in the grass and then another wildebeest. I'm not sure what that is. I don't think it's a predator because everyone... See that thing moving there? Is that a little wildebeest? Oh, it's a warthog. Okay, this is really difficult to work out what things are. That's a warthog there. Okay, there we go. This little zebra's having a drink. Yes, that's where that warthog was, in the middle there. Jackie, you're asking, how do zebras communicate with each other? Similar ways that lots of animals do. Look at this poor girl here. Maybe she's just stood on a stone. Jackie, the same way lots of animals do is with body language. They don't have words, and well, lots of animals do make lots of noises. They're not equipped with the same repertoires as we have, and maybe, up for discussion, maybe this is why we don't, or humans don't read body language as well as maybe we used to. But we can still read body language. Someone can be standing in front of you saying, yeah, that's really interesting, while their body language is saying something completely different. But zebras use lots of body language, lots of posturing. They do vocalise, they will vocalise alarm calls, but I'm pretty sure a group of zebras would notice an uptight, tense set of body language long before anyone would notice an alarm call. So the same way lots of animals do. Jackie mostly body language, or she's a bit cranky there, bless her. Dear, she is sore. Zebras can be quite aggressive towards each other and towards anything else that tries to eat them, but they can, there's vicious fights in zebras, often between stallions. They can do quite a lot of damage to others of their same species. Chris is asking, do zebras ever get dizzy trying to count each other's stripes? If they did count each other's stripes, Chris, I'm fairly sure they probably would get dizzy. But do they spend a lot of time counting each other's stripes? I'm not sure. I've never counted a zebra's stripes. Maybe we should. I remember what I did count on a zebra once. I've got a fabulous friend, and she actually visited Tau with her lovely parents, and I went and drove them there, and her dad asked me, how many times does a zebra swish its tail in a day? And I said, I have got absolutely no idea, but if you're so interested, I said, why don't you sit there with a cup of coffee and we'll set a timer. And you can time it if you want. You can time it for 5 minutes and you can count those tail swishes. I can't remember what the outcome was now. The answer was lots. I can't remember what the number was. Oh, I also once a few of us spent a summer counting the legs on millipedes. 2 pairs a segment, counted the segments. I think, did the number come out about averaging about 74 legs or something? I can't remember now. Ah, is that squawko heron up there again? I can see a grey heron and possibly that squawko heron again, and then it looks like a crake. Why is everyone coming out of the water? Are there crakes there? It looks very peaceful here today though at Tau. There was a busy looking impala at the back.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today.
best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Splits, those males will go off and they will form their own herds, but it's a dominant male, his females and their youngsters. Well, let's leave our very exciting Squacco heron. I think that was a fabulous find there at Tau, and head across to Tembe. And I think it might be raining up there, which is it's a bit weird, but not impossible, because I have also had a few spots of rain here. So let's have a look and see how hard it's raining up there at Tembe. Wow, it is raining hard at Tembe. Ah, look at those lovely pans filling up though. That's brilliant. I've actually been worried about these pans because we often see elephants splashing in them and kicking water, and I was getting increasingly concerned that they were going to dry up. But this is beautiful late rain. See, we've actually got rain forecast here today as well. And there is a few clouds around actually, but this is lovely late rain. So rain obviously can have a huge impact on behaviour of elephants, of predators, of birds. But late rain like this can literally make all the difference. It can make all the difference of survival of some animals. Because the later we get some rain, the later the food will run out and the later the pans will dry up. It's quite quiet there at the pan, bar a couple of nice cool looking elephants though. Loving these nice cool conditions. And I love the way the elephants here have made all these almost like private pools. very happy Egyptian geese there. Chris, you're asking if elephants never forget, do they hold grudges forever? They can. It's going to be my loose response to that. Depends what you mean by grudge. But yeah, I'm going to say yes, they could. I know elephants that have come from less safe areas are often less relaxed, stroke more aggressive, depending on little fork-tailed drongo here in the rain. More aggressive, stroke less relaxed than elephants that have come from or have never left safe areas. Are they more likely to be aggressive towards people because they're holding a grudge or because they have been shot at? Is that a grudge or is that fair? Lots of animals will remember, and my study of behaviour has taught me that one negative experience far outweighs lots of positive experiences. So what's that? I don't know what that is. Are they catfish? They're catfish. Ha! Look at the catfish enjoying the rain. That's epic. We're seeing some really cool things today. These catfish are out and moving. They're sort of out the water. How bizarre. But yeah, this is catfish. I'm surprised nothing here is feasting on these catfish. Even the fish are enjoying the rain. Yes, Chris, so a grudge, legitimate memories, 100%, but if you think about it from a human perspective, if you have one negative experience, and the answer I normally, or the example I normally give is if you bite into an apple and find half a worm, how many times are you going to have to bite into an apple and not find half a worm before you start trusting it again? It's going to be a lot. It's not going to be just one, but that negative experience holds a lot of sway in our memories, and it takes a long time to get over those negative experiences. So negative experiences are not forgotten by elephants or anything else, really. These catfish are having a blast in here. And I'm actually I use a lot of the things I learned from guiding and wildlife, and I've carried it through into my study of animal behaviour, specifically canine, and vice versa. It's very easy to make comparisons. I'm actually doing 5 days in August. I'm going to go and do some work on, or with captive wildlife, on enrichment and meeting the needs of captive wildlife. Another debate about whether or not zoos are a good idea or not, but the fact is that they exist. So I'm going to see if I can combine both of my skill sets to potentially make a difference. I've actually recently volunteered with, it's a brilliant organisation very close to where I am, called Animal Education for Communities, or ALEX, doing some work with dogs from the local communities about education and sterilisation drives, and giving local communities information and support around how to care for their animals. So if anyone's interested, ALEX, or Animal Education for Communities. So many similarities into the lives of these wild animals and also the animals that we have in our homes. They all have needs, they all have desires, they all have requirements, just slightly different. These elephants loving this nice cool rain, I would imagine. I've often seen after the first rains, after our dry season, so here in the Lowveld our dry season is normally the winter months. So this is sort of right at the end of our summer, going into our autumn, and it's technically not supposed to rain from now-ish, probably all the way through to September, although we do get an occasional random bit of rain, but it's not supposed to, technically. And that first rain, October-ish time, everything's dry and parched, and I've watched elephants and rhino, they're playing. Anyone that says they're not playing needs to come and watch these things. And everything just bursts into life and makes the most of the beautiful cool rain. All the frogs come out. It's amazing. Those first rains are a very special time. Justin B. What are some of the most surprising things elephants have been observed doing in the wild? Depends what you mean by surprising, Justin. I'm just trying to think what direction you want me to go in. Let's head back over to Tau while I give that a bit more thought, Justin B. Lovely to see some rain up here at Tenby though. Late rains are always welcome. Ah, look at there's a nice big male waterbuck in there. Wow, are they laying down? I'm assuming they're laying down in there. That looks like a set of horns with 4 ears. Justin, I'm just trying to think, there's stories. See, this is where I get a bit cagey again. There's stories about lots of things, but I do like a bit of scientific paper, peer-reviewed paper, before I state things as fact. But there's stories about elephants that have, busy impala photobomb, and possibly a, and he's gone. Very busy, Mr. Impala. That squirrel that's just stood up there? I'm going to wait till it moves. Justin, sorry, rambling. Stories of the elephant whisperer, the guy who rescued a herd of elephants, I think it was down in KZN, used to know when he was coming back from a trip and things like that, and they would cover kilometres and come and wait by his gate like 3 days before he got back. Lots of things like that. There's but then surprising things in the wild. I've watched elephants on video clips like limbo over and under wires to get to food sources. Oh, look, what are they? Are they all ground squirrels? No, that's one ground squirrel and lots of... Oh, this is exciting. They look like banded... I'm trying to get closer to my screen, but not too close to the microphone. They look like... They do. And see, they look like banded mongoose to me. But there was a ground squirrel there as well, and they're all sort of... There's the ground squirrel that's lighter. Are they mobbing that ground squirrel? That's not very nice. But look how they're all bunched up Oh, they are. They're definitely banded mongoose. Okay, I just saw some bands there. And there's a ground squirrel in there. That's quite unusual. We're seeing lots of very interesting stuff today. These... Oh, off they go. But it looked like they were mobbing that ground squirrel. So the ground squirrel, very similar body shape, but much lighter, and they have sort of a fluffy tail, those ground squirrels, as opposed to these banded mongoose have got sort of slender, skinny tails. I can't see that ground squirrel now, but then that also makes... What were they all doing there? You don't normally see... I mean, this is quite... Okay, I suppose the grass is quite long. What are they doing there? And why was there a ground squirrel with banded mongoose? I don't know. We're having some fabulous sightings today. Let me tilt that screen back a little bit so I can see better. That was an interesting interaction, but to me that looked like those mongoose were mobbing that ground squirrel. Interesting. So Justin, also some insane migratory routes. Migratory? Do elephants migrate? No. Migrate? Justin, some crazy crossing of large distances of elephants through towns and cities to get to different areas. That's always been really interesting to watch as well. But many behaviours, and with advances in modern technology and things like these cameras, I'm sure we've seen elephants do things more and more in the wild that we wouldn't have been able to see 10 years ago. Look at this, look, impala, waterbuck, zebra, all in line with each other. Justin, I don't know if you wanted me to go down the route of excuse me, of the mourning of passing of their herd. I've seen that myself, Justin. There was you know, we hear about it and we read about it. About 5 years ago I was at where I used to work, and there was a young elephant that had died. We're not even sure how it had died, to be honest, but it was probably like a sort of 3-year-old elephant, so it's quite a big elephant, and it had died or been killed on one of our river roads, actually close to where I saw that little baby trying to get back into the river. And there was sadly there was two lions feeding on this dead elephant, which is life, it's the way it goes. And we were at the sighting, and all of us, it was dusk, and a group of elephants crossed the river, and I moved back. I gave lots and lots of space. I moved back by far, at least 100 meters, because I wasn't sure what was going to pan out, and it was on quite a tight river road. And these elephants crossed, and they chased the lions away from the carcass, and they stood around the carcass. I moved forward a little bit once I knew what was sort of going to pan out. I moved forwards, but not too close. And this group of maybe 15 elephants stood around this carcass, completely still, for 5 or 7 minutes, completely silent, completely still. And then they left. They crossed back across the river and left. So I don't know if that's surprising, but I can 100% confirm that it happens, because I've seen it with my own eyes. Ivan, amazing animal adventures. This has been a brilliant couple of hours, actually. I've really enjoyed it today. We're seeing such cool things. Emily, do mongooses really battle snakes like Rikki Tikki Tavi? Yes, they do. yeah, they do. I've also seen it, lots and lots of clips of it on film. They will try and drive snakes away. I don't think if they come across a snake, I don't think it's their favourite prey, because snakes are jolly dangerous, or they can be. So whether or not it's their favourite prey, I would possibly debate that. But they will 100% mob snakes. They would like that's what I thought was going on there with those banded mongoose. Quite unusual that they're all in a big open area like that, and near water. Water's dangerous. They don't like being out often in the open, so I thought maybe there was a snake there, and I was confused as well because that ground squirrel was there. If there had been a snake there, it could have caused them all to bunch up together, and maybe there was a snake in that grass, and the mongoose and the ground squirrel were all trying to chase it away. But they will mob, they will bite, one of them will go for the back end, they will run around as a group. They will sometimes kill them, whether or not they actively hunt them on a regular basis, I'm not sure. But yes, short version, Emily, yes they do. Something else I heard, again, I know someone who's seen it with their own eyes, and these are increasingly only the stories I will tell now, because you hear someone who saw a thing that their friend told them about, etc., etc., and they can often become bush, like urban myths, but these become bush legends. But I know someone who has watched a group of dwarf mongoose, and I heard about it, someone had told me about it, but I know someone that saw it. Andrew, hi if you're listening, I'm pretty sure you're not. He watched a group of dwarf mongoose all bunched together to cross an open area, and they didn't quite all hold on to each other, but they all like squished themselves together to cross an open area and ran so they looked like one big group of mongoose, or one big brown furry animal, as opposed to running across it separately. They don't do it all the time, but to cross an open area they are much less likely to get predated upon, because it looks like a big brown animal as opposed to lots of little small delicious snack sized animals. So that is also true, whether or not they do it all the time. They do not, because I have seen them not do it as well. This is still quite long, this vegetation here, because that's a big male waterbuck, and so him lying down must be his body must come to about 1 metre, so I think this stuff that they're laying in here must be at least 1 metre high, which is great news. Oh, look, there's a little mongoose or something back then, just close to those yellow flowers. Oh, look, stood up. There, they're going off to the left. I've never seen banded mongoose on this camera before. Does anyone know if they live here? Because these mongoose, they are diurnal. They will go to bed at night time. But I've never seen these banded mongoose on this tower camera before. These will be great to have here regularly, because they're always doing something. I've actually got a family who, if I'm very, very lucky, visits the back of my house once in a while, often about dusk. But I really enjoy watching mongoose, the way they hunt. They're brilliant, brilliant hunters. They will smash scorpions and things without missing a beat. Katie, it does indeed look like a mongoose highway today. Very, very cool. Let's head off across to Wangi. I think we might have another elephant across there. Also maybe engaging in a bit of playtime. We've seen such cool things today. That very industrious man in parlour at the back there who's extremely busy, and there's just an elephant here playing with a rock. I love it. But that was tactile. He was feeling it with his feet. Elephants can have very sensitive feet. Maybe he doesn't know what it is. And this is the joy of nature and animal behaviour. You know, we can guess at things. Will we ever be inside their heads? Oh wow, apparently he was bent right down getting up close and personal with this rock. So this is he's not a massive elephant, but I'm pretty sure he's not a baby anymore. Again, it can sometimes be quite difficult to tell with some of these camera angles, but this is so cool. This is actually, look at this. This is amazing to watch. I'm not going to talk all over this. I just want everyone to just quietly think about what's going on here. Joe, you're saying you hope he throws it. See, this to me, he's just exploring it. Maybe he's tasting it, and this is exactly this project that I'm doing in August. It's working with captive wildlife like this and providing them with things to entertain them. So this is a wild elephant, and look at this open area. He must have purposely gone over to that rock to have a look at it, to check it out. I mean, he's not a huge bull. But that to me looked like it was just exploration. It was exploration, it was learning, it was seeing what it was investigating, and it's all mental stimulation. He knew that was not food. He knew it was nothing to do with breeding. It's just exploration and learning. Animals in a wild environment, they have the freedom. He could choose to go over and look at that thing if he wanted to and stay for as long as he chose to, and then leave and go and move on to the next thing. He's obviously been having a sniff across the open area. Oh, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense if the impalas have been going there as well. If that is a salt lick or some sort of supplement for the animals, that would make a lot more sense. But I've seen sticks. Elephants often spend time playing with sticks. They're not eating them. That wasn't drinking, was it, boy? That's better. But yeah, that would make sense.
Zitatamana wena moya wa mina
It's been a great morning out and about and exploring.
It's amazing. It's very hard to explain what this feels like.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our Fed Air Lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
If you're thinking about booking a trip with Wild Earth, do it. I highly recommend it.
But I think what he would do, Oliver, is sort of put some of whatever the substance was on his trunk and then put it in his mouth. But what's going on with this elephant? Is there water in there? See, I could watch this all day. See, look how stiff that tail is. This elephant is not. He's not just chilling, man. There's stuff going on here, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. He's gone to the water, didn't really drink. He had a mouthful, but he took the time to walk all the way to that pan with water in, sprayed it everywhere. Took one mouthful and then carried on walking. Then he's walked over to that other thing, put his trunk in there. I'm not even sure if there was water in there. And now where's he off to? Paul, you're saying he looks like they move in slow-mo. This boy's not too slow-mo at the moment. And remember, while they look like lumbering beasts, we could not outrun almost anything in the bush. Most things, apart from maybe a couple of snakes, everything out here would beat a human in the running stakes, including an elephant by a clear mile. But this is fascinating. I don't know what this elephant is doing. He's certainly not just mooching around feeding. looks like he's it almost looks like he's looking for something. Whether it's something specific or whether or not it's just looking for something to engage with. Do animals get bored? That's a interesting question in my opinion. Yes. Or you could phrase it, is it bored, or is it just, are they feeling like they're lacking stimulation? Is that the same as bored? See, look, it's gone over to this other thing now. What's that? Now that's a I'm uncomfortable posture. Keep him feeling all around the edge of that, whatever it is. See how he froze and he lifted his chin up, tilted his head up. That was a posture of concern as far as I'm concerned. But he looks like he's cruising looking for something to me. How interesting. This elephant looks involved in his surroundings and interested in what's happening to me. How interesting. Huh. And I think the rain stopped over there at Tenby. It's always a good idea to have a look and see what is happening somewhere when the rain stops, because sometimes that's when activity starts. Jinxifer, you said he looks like he's scanning. I agree. That elephant was doing something then. But will we ever know what it was? And that's why I get so excited about it. Because maybe we never will. But the rain has indeed stopped here at Tenby. Lovely little Inyala family making use of a gap in the clouds with an impala thrown in there for luck. Nice to see this little young Inyala here at the front. These Inyalas, one of the most sexually dimorphic antelope species. I'm sure you will all know those beautiful big Inyala bulls, very, very dark, almost look like they've got yellow stockings on. Lovely big horns, and then the females look completely different. These females, lots of stripes, this sort of fawn colour. And then those young boys will gradually start losing those stripes, and their colours will change completely into that very dark, recognisable form that we know. Look at this impala hanging out with these Inyalas there. And why wouldn't they? Extra eyes, extra ears. unusual, but sensible if you ask me. Safety in numbers. And often when it does rain or when it's raining, it does deaden sounds and smells. So animals that rely heavily on sense of hearing or sense of smell to keep them safe, to keep an eye out for predators, are often somewhat twitchy, and predators will often use storms or thunder or rain or wind to hunt in. It's often a good idea to check the trees nicely if you have if you've had a storm or big rain the night before. Wild cats are known for not being super keen on rain. I once I had guests.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do? Because we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Try and lead you in any particular direction. We genuinely never know what we're going to see. And yeah, that was a perfect example of, and they were actually genuinely quite annoyed. And I said, look, I said 4 or 5 times that I didn't know what we were going to see, but you forced me to make a call, and I made the wrong call. I said, that's the first time I've ever seen that in my career in the rain. But you just never know what's around the corner. It's been an absolutely fascinating show today. Those babies are perfect miniatures, Alan. Yes, I agree. I think they were probably little baby jacanas. Still dripping a little bit here at Tembe, but let's head back across to Tau. We haven't got too long left of today's show, but what an absolute cracker it's been. We've seen all sorts of things today. Let's see how we can finish off at Tau. We started with that amazing big herd of elephants, that lovely African harrier hawk. I always get confused between African hawk eagle and African harrier hawk. That lovely bird having a bath. We had those terrapins. With this tiny little baby zebra. Those dwarf mongoose. Those banded mongoose. It's been an absolute smashing show, and that elephant wandering around looking for little baby's gonna have a little snooze. We must maybe watch this mum with this tiny little baby and see if she stays in the area. Maybe she's just trod on something and her foot's going to be fine. Wildlife lady, it's been a very interesting and some unusual sightings today live at the waterhole. Loved it. Me too. Me too, wildlife lady. Thanks, Kelly FC and all the Zoomies. Thank you very much, FC and all the Zoomies from me as well. You do a fabulous job keeping an eye on everything that's going on these cameras. Just have a couple of minutes left. Beautiful, peaceful scenes here at Talbot. Thank you everyone for joining us. Regulars and people who have only just found us. Please do call again. It's a delight to have everyone here. I love hearing your questions. It really does make the show so special for me and everyone else that's listening. It's like one big game drive, one big nature chat, which I enjoy immensely. So nice to spend time in nature without causing any disturbance, any disruption, just peacefully watching from a distance. These flowers are still going strong here at Tau. Wild sunflowers, I can't remember the scientific name, but a friend there did indeed identify them for me, who works at Tau, my old stomping ground. Spent many happy hours in front of this waterhole, and it's great to be spending more time here as well. Never a dull moment. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I had to double check there. Enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, depending on where you are from in the world. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us. We hope to see you all again soon. Thank you for joining. Keep your eyes on those cameras, and I will talk to you all soon. Stay safe.